Good afternoon, City Church. We just wanted to bring you some updates. You may have noticed on the weekly email last week that we popped in there that church will be gathering in person on the 20th of September. So we're just going to give you some info.
Obviously, last month we had 3 midweek gatherings, which were a little bit different, just really to give us the opportunity to gather in person, and they were really great. The atmosphere, particularly the very first one we did, was super atmosphere. Not a lot of people here, but just those who were here really enjoyed it, really appreciated it. And I know a lot of people were watching online as well, as it was live streamed, and we did that for 3 consecutive weeks. And hopefully we've ironed out all the quirky bits with the technical stuff. So we're starting to think about Sundays, and as Anne-Marie's just said, the 20th of September is what we're aiming at, to restart Sunday gatherings just in 3 weeks' time. So the next 2 Sundays are going to be online, as they have been for almost 6 months, and that's going to continue to be premiered, as we call it, on the Sunday morning from about 10:15, just to gather. And it's been great to catch up with people just on that chat function just before the service starts, and then obviously for everybody starting at 10:30 for the service itself. So that's going to continue for the next 2 weeks. But then on the 20th, as we said, we're going to restart, take some initial steps with regard to regathering the church.
That's exciting. I'm excited about
Very exciting. Yeah, very exciting. Because by that point, we'll have had 6 months exactly, 26 weeks of just online Sunday services. So that's going to be quite a step for us, and quite a step back for us into gathering. So if you were involved in the midweek gatherings, you will have seen the protocols that we set in place. You can still see them, they're on the City Church website, and we're going to retain most of those protocols because the COVID-19 secure things that we need to do. And so there's a lot of detail on there. I'm not going to go through all that now, but you can click on the website, go on the midweek page, and they are there. They are constantly being updated as government guidance is changing, which it seems to be doing on a regular basis. So check those out. But what is our service, our Sunday morning service, going to look like initially in those first steps back to gathering? Well, they're going to be shorter services than they were historically, but they're going to look very similar in content and shape to what our online services have been in the most recent months that we've been doing them. So we envisage similar sort of content that you've got probably used to seeing over the last a couple of months particularly. We are envisaging having our worship team on stage, which will be great. However, as a congregation, as yet, the government aren't allowing us to sing, but we will be here in the atmosphere of worship as the worship team leaders with regard to that. Some items that we will have within the service will be pre-recorded, as everything's pre-recorded now, but some items we will retain to try and keep our time constraints close together. Also, another bit of exciting news, Anne-Marie, on the 20th.
It's brilliant, this. Our kids team our kids workers, Joy and David, are really working towards this and seeing what we can put down in place. Also on the 20th of September, we're hoping to start a limited kids programme. We can't use the house, unfortunately, because of the guidelines, because of the spacing, but we will be able to use the community hall, and we will be able to get so many of our children in there. So the kids' church will run for the entirety of the service, and our aim is for parents to drop children off at the community hall, come into the service here, and then go back afterwards and pick them up. We are working on age ranges and how we can do it well, how we can do it safely, so there will be further news and updates on that coming.
Yeah, it's unlikely we're not going to be able to cater for all the age ranges in the first instance, but we will give you details of that nearer the time. And of course, that's going to be the same. You know, we're going to have restrictions in terms of numbers in the main building here, so we will be live streaming the main service as we did with those midweek service through August. Also, because of the restricted numbers, both in terms of the main church service and the kids provision, we will have to operate a booking system in the first instance just to manage that and gauge that. We just don't want people pitching up and them not having a seat, as it were, so to get people booking in advance, and that's particularly going to be important, I think, for the children's facility that we're going to put on. So that's just very quickly the outlines. I mean, what we did sort of muse the other day was, you know, if we are getting oversubscribed, we may have to sort of suggest we stagger how people come, or we may have to go to two services and try and work some things out. So we're going to journey this. Obviously, we're going to be reviewing it on a very regular basis, and we'll be working out particularly the finer details of how certain things are going to operate in the next 3 weeks. And so what we'll do, we will produce a couple of walkthrough videos, both for the kids provision and for the main service provision, so you'll know well in advance what to expect and where to go and how to do things. All right, so...
And of course, in the next 3 weeks, the government could change lots.
It could all change again.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, our kids go back to school, most of them. Some went back last week, but most of them go back this coming week. And obviously, the government will be keeping an eye on infection rates, etc., and may indeed change some of the parameters that we are currently working to.
Yeah.
So I think that's the detail we can give you today, but we'll give you some more as and when it comes. So the Lord bless you. Have a great week.
Bye.